Hello, the game is EverQuest, and if this song sounds familiar to you, it probably has a special place in your heart. This was the loading screen song for the original EverQuest. Very familiar sound. Loading screens were very long back then. It wasn't like today. You'd sit there for minutes while a game loaded, so a lot of people got very familiar with this song. It brings a lot of memories and a lot of nostalgia back.
Channers tried to slow on him too.
And on to the point of the video. So in this, you're going to see some footage that I took when I just joined a guild recently, and we were doing some beginner raids. I think this was the Plane of Hate, and we were fighting a mini-boss called the Mistress of Scorn, which these mini-bosses drop planar armor for classes. So this is what we're doing. We're up here. We're trying to get planar drops for our guild so that we can be stronger, so that we can then progress and take on raid bosses and progress through the EverQuest Time Locked Progression servers. And that's the point of this video, is to discuss the new and upcoming TLP servers. So Sony Online Entertainment... Fippy Darkpaw Gaming Company has plans to release two more Time Locked Progression servers, TLP servers. One is Aradune and one is Rizlona. Aradune is in reference to Brad McQuaid. That was his in-game character. He was one of the primary creators of EverQuest, and he passed away last year, I believe in November. So they used that as an opportunity to honor his name and his memory, which I thought was very nice. The servers are going to launch on May 27th, 2020, so about 2 weeks from now-ish. So before I get into the differences of the TLPs, a lot of people who are viewing this, a lot of my subscribers might not even know what EverQuest is, what a TLP is, and what's going on here. So let me break that down a little bit. So let's get started with what is EverQuest. EverQuest came out in 1999. It was, I think, the very first 3D spaced MMO. We had other ones like Ultima Online that were 2D. But this was the very first, like, you're actually in a world walking around in 3D space, and it kind of defined the genre, and it was actually a very good game. We got really lucky, I think, with the quality of the game and what they were trying to do. They were trying to take tabletop D&D, automate all the dice throwing, and kind of make a game out of that is what they are basically trying to do with EverQuest. Now that's technically what EverQuest is, but what is it to me? It's more of a grindy MMO, and how you play it really depends on you. There's a lot of ways to play it, but I'll break it down. For me, what it is a leveling progression MMO where you build your character in a world with other people. There's a lot of social aspects to EQ that I really enjoy that a lot of MMOs are missing today, which is why I'm interested in these TLPs. Not because I have some crazy need for nostalgia. I've played every single TLP that came out. I've played Shards of Delilah. I've played P99. I've played Fippy Darkpaw. I think might have been the first one. I'm not sure, but I've played them all. I mean, the TLPs in themselves are 10 years old at this point. I mean, that means you could have nostalgia for TLPs at this point. They're 10 years old. The game's 20 years old. So it's definitely not nostalgia. I love this game not because it's rose-tinted goggles or glasses or whatever people tried to claim. What I like about it is there's a social aspect to it. So when I start out, it's a hard game. It's almost like a modern-day survival game without the food and hunger and stuff. But you're punching rats for 1 point of damage, right? And then you get maybe a weapon increase, and you're hitting them for 2. And then now you can kill level 3 things, and you level up, and you get some spells. And now maybe you could cast a dot and run away. Or, there's a lot of different ways of playing it depending on your class. But you start gaining power and gaining abilities. And then, you get like level 5, and you can start grouping with people. And you get a group together. And now all those abilities and the power that you gain is amplified within a group. You got somebody healing, you got somebody who can take damage but not do as much damage to the mob, can sit there and hold its attention while other people do damage, and thus the foundation of the modern MMO with the healers and the tanks and the DPS and stuff like that. So That's what I love. I love fighting mobs. I hate real quick fighting like World of Warcraft, where you're just slaughtering mobs. I mean, I don't mind it in games like Diablo 3, where that's the point of the game is you just hack and slash slaughter mobs. But in like an MMO where you're fighting something, I don't want to kill the thing in 10 seconds and pull the next thing. I would love to have an MMO where fights take a few minutes each mob. You know, you really gotta put an effort into it and coordinate it. I guess it's more of a tactical gameplay too. So a lot of people don't like EverQuest because it's very tab targeted and not like in your face action mash buttons. It's definitely not a button masher game. If that's your kind of thing, you're probably not going to like it. This is more of a tactical game. You're managing your resources. You're trying to make smart decisions. You're trying to foresee what's going to happen. You're trying to prevent a wipe of your group by utilizing your roots or your crowd control, and it's very tactical. It's a very management based game, and you're dependent on a team. And I think that's what I like about the game, that social aspect, that tactical aspect. It's not an action game, although it does get your heart racing at times. It may not be an action game, but you're busy. It's not like you're just sitting there watching numbers scroll. You're constantly doing something if you're playing it well. It can be a busy game. Like if you're looking at this video, you see my guy just kind of standing there going schwamp, schwamp, schwamp. But my mind's grabbing 100 different things. Like, what's the positioning? Do I have to use this spell? What's my health? What's the healer's mana? What's everybody doing? Are there mobs around me? Do I have them in the best position? Can I drag them over there without even getting onto the DPS? You're thinking about a lot of things to perfect what you're doing in this game, and that's really what I enjoy about it, and I enjoy the progression of it, the leveling up your character. So I'll be rolling a character on Aradune, and the difference between the two TLPs, Aradune and Rizlona. Aradune is going to be a no box, or not a no box. You're going to be allowed to have 2 boxes, meaning you're going to be able to play 2 accounts per person. So one person can play 2 characters if they want to. The other one is going to be unlimited. So Rizlona, if you want to have a 24 mage army that just runs around and slaughters everything, you want to pay for 24 counts and run 24 of them, that's fine. So a lot of people do not like that. They don't want that in the game. Obviously, if you're in a social game where you're group dependent and raid dependent, you don't want one person buying 24 counts running them off of a program, because there's actually, I don't want to say its name, but there's a really nice program out there if you want a box. I highly suggest it. Look it up. It's the most popular one. Google it. You'll be able to figure it out. But it works well. It's very difficult to configure. But if you do like boxing, it's a very good program. But I'm going to be on the non-boxing one. I'll probably have 2 accounts. I'll probably have one like a little porter account and one main to where I can port my mages and my necrors and my bards and my monks and my shadow knights. I'll probably have one account with my characters that I play, and one account with like a wizard or a druid to port them around or something like that is usually what I do. But I'll be on Aradune, and that's really the difference between the 2 TLPs. One is if you want more social, if you're a normal player, play on Aradune. If you would like the box, or you don't mind being surrounded by boxers, or you just want a solo or something, the other one's for you. That's basically the difference between the 2 TLPs. The experience rates are the same. They're going to be Mangler experience, and basically what that means is not as slow as Classic, but not as fast as some of the other TLPs they've done. It's actually feels pretty good. It's a bit of a grind, but it doesn't. It's not as hard as Classic was. The interface, again, in this game is dated. The graphics are dated, but they're dated, but they're cute. They were very well done, the graphics and animations, for the technology they had at the time. So they're very cute. So I hope you will join me. I don't know what my character name will be. I don't have any affiliations with guilds. When I join these things, I kind of look around and look for a guild that has a raid time or has a culture that fits me, and I try to join them. I hope to see you on there, and hope maybe you piqued some interest for this game and come on over, because it is fun, and it does feel very much like Classic, like the original EverQuest, for the first couple months. It feels good. There's a lot of people in newbie zones. There's a lot of people leveling up. It feels really good. It feels like what MMOs used to be, and that's what I love about these TLPs. I usually play them for 6 months to a year, and then I bail. I think I've only made it to Plains of Power one time out of all the TLPs that I've played. But it's fun. It's a fun experience, and I definitely recommend it if you're into this type of game at all. Alright, I think I rambled on enough for this video. I will see you, hopefully, on the EverQuest TLP on the Aradune server. If not, I'll see you in the next video. I do have another video coming out soon. I started the game Raft on hard mode, and I did the first 3 hours of it. So I need to crunch that video down and encode it to YouTube's format and then get it uploaded. That's a huge file because it's 3 hours long, non-stop, straight gameplay. So keep an eye out for that if you might be interested in that kind of thing, and I'll see you in the next video.
Clinging darkness resisted. Strike of opportunity be resisted. Clinging darkness resisted.
If you're getting hit by a ramp, call it out. It's not hitting me anymore.
Clinging darkness resisted. Clinging darkness resisted. Clinging darkness resisted. Steel strength resisted. Clinging darkness resisted.
30%. 25.
Clinging darkness resisted.
This is going to be the last fight, by the way, guys.
Clinging darkness resisted. Steel strength resisted. Clinging darkness resisted.
I've been parsing, by the way, if you're interested. Weird.
Let me guess, I'm number 1 on
Clinging darkness
guess.
resisted.
Loathing Lich, then Iron Gas, then me, then Nukes, then Food.
Clinging darkness resisted.
Fair enough.
I will point out that the Gas is actually better DPS than the Lich when hasted, though. The hasted dropped, according to Kazu. I was just telling him about it.
Lich may be casting sometime, but I don't know if it's being effective.
On the Dragon fight, the Lich was about 9k DPS, or 9k total damage, and the Gas was 11,000.
Look, Bart. Well, that works. Bard, and Bard. That
Nice.
Dawn Chaser is definitely not common. I never had that on my Bard